Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Two Thumbs Up podcast. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Bobby Plays. And today we actually have a lot of topics. Like, a lot has gone on in the mobile scene these last few weeks. I remember, what was it? We were saying 2022 is going to be the golden year for mobile games. And now Apex is shut down. And it launched in 2022. But I think 2023 is kind of shaping up to be maybe the most eventful year of mobile gaming ever. I might be wrong, but that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know. I feel like we're a very short time into the year, and we've already had a lot of ups and downs for mobile. We had Apex announced that they're shutting down, which was surprising, but at the same time, not surprising at all. You know?
No.
And then we have Battlefield gets shut down before launch. But let's be honest, was anybody actually excited for Battlefield Mobile? No. Probably not. Rainbow Six Mobile went radio silent for almost 50 days before we heard anything out of them.
Oh my gosh.
We're like, what the freak is happening in mobile gaming? Is mobile gaming dying? And the next week, we get 3 major games that are doing launches and everything else, re-releasing. We thought that Project Bloodstrike was going away as well. It's back. That was a fake news release and everything. So there's a lot to talk about today. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a game that I am very excited for. I don't know if everybody will necessarily, watching the gameplay, understand the hype, but Farlight 84 is a battle royale. I didn't even realize it's been in development for a really long time, but they just started their global launch. It's a weird global launch because it's
not global. Don't even say the word
but it's global for Android. It's global
I don't care.
for Android, but it's not global for iOS. I don't know what the reasoning for that is. But
I didn't know it was global for Android.
Yeah, you can download it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so if you want to download it on your Red Magic or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's a very cool battle royale because you guys know I am very much I would consider myself a TPP hater. I think that mechanically TPP is designed to benefit people who like to camp. But I think Farlight is the exception because it has a lot of mechanics that basically it forces you to play aggressively or else you're going to get destroyed in the late game. Number one, it's got a leveling system for both your armor and your weapons. So the more gunfights that you take, the more that those level up, the more powerful they become, which means if you're not taking any gunfights early in game, you're going to get wrecked in the late game. Number two, it has jetpacks. And jetpacks are cool because it makes everything way, way faster. And you have jetpack mods that you can upgrade throughout the game as well. So basically, all that to say, it really promotes an aggressive playstyle, despite the fact that it is a TPP shooter. So even though
you gotta remember, Fortnite is a TPP game, and that arguably is one of the most aggressive, intense mechanical games out there. And it's third person. I understand PUBG third person. Typically on mobile, third person doesn't have that sort of thought process of TPP, intense gameplay. But yeah, from everything, I haven't played it yet because first off, my thumb is a little messed up, so I can't really play on phones. I need my tablet. And the only good tablet is obviously iOS. So you said it's India only, or what is it?
It's India, Indonesia, and Philippines, I think. So
yeah, that's all. The people who have iOS devices for sure.
Yeah.
Are those 3 countries. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Winston made a point about this. The marketing, mobile in general, whenever games come out, the new Hogwarts Legacy, whatever game that just came out, when a game goes global on PC or console, it just comes out. It's just out for everyone. When I was in Europe, it was actually kind of cool. I saw in France and in Europe, huge adverts for it in different languages. I was like, all right, this game is global. But then you have these other games where Arena Breakout said it's the global closed beta test, but then it's only available in 7 regions. So it's not it's not global, but it's bigger than a regional launch. So just if it's global, that means it's the whole globe, guys, developers, the globe, you know?
Yeah.
So I will play it. It sounds you're really hyping it up there. Maybe hashtag ad. I'm just kidding.
Okay, no, actually not a hashtag ad. The other reason that I'm excited for it is because I don't know if you saw my post about this, but they already have a fully built out esports ecosystem that exists inside the game, very similar to what Fortnite used to have in their cash cups. Now, obviously, it's not Fortnite Cash Cup type money because they're not like in launch, and everything else. But I think any game, this is really the first of any mobile shooter that I've seen launch with a major eye on esports. Like every other single mobile title has taken at least 5 to 6 months to have any semblance of an esports scene. So the fact that they're not even fully in global launch and they're running daily tournaments in multiple different regions is a really good sign. So there's a lot of mechanics that have me excited for Farlight. I think of all of the smaller name games that are coming out, I think it has the highest ceiling. There's obviously, I think, a lot of things that do still need to be fixed, but it does seem the developers are aware of them. So assuming we see them fixed at a relative quick pace, I think this is a game that could potentially blow up in the future. And I'm curious to see if we see more content creators head that way, because I know one guy, especially Zach Wilder, has been working alongside them and has already been making content for them for a while. And he's definitely seen some traction pick up. So who knows? That might be a big opportunity for content creators in the future.
Yeah, I feel like on the note of content, it's just I feel like everyone's kind of on edge right now because we just saw Apex Mobile. Like people, I mean, we saw people like IMO, Rose Smith, they were uploading content 2 years before the game went global. And for the game to not even make half of that, like
a year.
It made 9 months before announcing a shutdown before the year. Like it makes me like, let's say I love Farlight. If you're a smaller creator, I mean, there's very little downsides to switching games, switching content. There's a whole lot of upsides. But for larger creators like myself and Bobby and Noah, like, let's say we want to go upload these games, we either have to upload them on a second channel, which is just not going to get
second channel content for sure. That's not.
Yeah. Or we have to wait for the game to become big enough to do like an upload on the main channel. So like, there's a lot of great games coming out. But the only problem is, I mean, a lot of people were getting really upset at Apex creators of like, you guys are switching games, blah, blah, blah. Like a lot of gaming content, you kind of work yourself, not even into a niche, but into like a specific game. Like we're all in the mobile genre, but people, might really want to watch me play this mobile shooter, not this mobile shooter. So I think as far as content, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I just did a quick Google Trends search on the game. It's not doing too hot, but then again, it's the first, it's not even in global launch. It's in global launch, but it's not real global launch. So, and even like Apex, we saw games with tons of momentum come out of the gate and just fall flat on its face. So I think smaller mobile games taking this approach of like, release slowly, make sure you have a solid foundation and then maybe invest money into creators or whatever. That's probably the route to go. But like myself, I'm just really tentative on making content on other mobile games right now. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I would say I'm kind of in the same boat. For me, most like new game content that I play is going to go on my second channel just because I'm like established in COD Mobile and I know that Warzone Mobile is coming at some point in the near future. So it's pretty like I know what my game plan is and everything else, but I think this is something that a lot of smaller content creators should consider because what I've seen is basically people see what happened for creators like Ferg, like myself, Hawks, Noah, and how everybody like blew up with Call of Duty Mobile. And so you have all these tiny content creators who are not established at all. All four of us were very well established heading into Call of Duty Mobile. These unestablished creators are like, yeah, I'm going to do the same in Warzone Mobile. They're putting all their eggs in that basket when market saturation is going to be a really big factor that makes it really tough for smaller content creators. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean it's impossible for a small content creator, but you have to look at everybody you're going up against. And there's a lot of really good alternatives, like Farlight, like a bunch of other games that we're going to talk about in today's episode of the podcast. There are dedicated communities that you can build a real fan base around and use that as a platform to launch into other games rather than trying to take down the giant with whatever the first game that you want to take down is. So that's just one thing that popped into my head whenever you were talking about like newer content creators putting all their eggs in one basket, kind of like they did with Apex Mobile. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to play the game for the rest of your life, but it gives you an opportunity to build a dedicated fan base, and they'll probably follow you anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm myself included. When I started Fortnite Mobile, that was like my third year of making mobile content, and I had like almost 40,000 subscribers going into it. And same thing with Bobby, he had like over 100K from Ross, I think, before COD Mobile. Was that right?
Oh, 300K.
Oh, geez, I need to catch up my Bobby lore. I'm slacking. So yeah, I mean, a lot of these smaller mobile games, like while you're waiting for, I mean, people keep saying, I'm waiting for Valorant. I'm waiting for, Warzone. While you guys are waiting for these games, upload content. Like it can't, depending on the size of your channel, it can't hurt you. Like it can only either A, give you experience to make better content, or potentially gain some new supporters so that when you go into Warzone or Valorant or whatever game you're really excited for, Rainbow Six, that you already have some momentum and you're not going in with, a stale channel and trying to build that up. So speaking of brand new games coming out, Arena Breakout. Once again, another game that I just mentioned, it's calling it a global closed beta test, but it is...
But they're sponsoring videos.
Yes, they are sponsoring videos. I can attest to that. But they're only, from my knowledge, in like 7 or 8 regions. But they're in big regions. They're in the US, the UK, like Philippines. Like they're in big regions, which is kind of why, like typically, correct me if I'm wrong, but when mobile games do beta tests, they're typically in the smallest regions. Like right now, Warzone is only available in Australia because Australia has like 25 million people, I think. Mm-hmm. And so they're only testing to, let's think VPNs didn't exist. The actual amount of mobile gamers who would test the game in Australia, maybe tens of thousands. But now they're testing it to the US audience, which is 300 million people. They're chucking it in the UK. Like it just, I don't know. It's kind of a weird launch strategy. I don't know. Have you played it at all or not? Like
I have not.
So you just
I've seen Tarkov gameplay before, and obviously, like for those of you who don't know, Arena Breakout is very similar from what I've seen to Escape from Tarkov, which is a niche game as it is in the PC and console world, or it might not even be console, it might just be PC world. But
yeah. I think I was just gonna say they even say like you can. Say it's Escape from Tarkov on mobile because that's what they designed it to be. But I mean you I think you tweeted, you're saying like having 20-30 minute matches, or like the maximum match length is 35 minutes. The maximum Fortnite mobile ever had was like, if this was a last zone, like 22 minutes on average, I can finish the game in like 15 minutes, and it's pretty action packed start to finish. Arena Breakout, I found myself being bored most of the time. The graphics and the mechanics are rock solid. Oh, yeah. Like they are really competitive. There's a lot of skill gap to be had. The graphics are insane for like an open world type game, but it just feels like there's so much running around, and the gunfights are like 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds. You run for a few minutes, 10, 15 seconds. So I think the appeal is supposed to be, it's really intense the whole time because you have, all of your loot, your hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of loot that you bring into the game, and you're trying to, survive with that and come out with even more. But for me, it just never had like the intense factor. But then again, I think I was even playing and recording before the servers were open, so I was just going against bots. But I've heard from like Ice and some other streamers that the gameplay and intensity is pretty good, but then those are like 25-minute matches. And like, I just don't know how I feel about that for mobile. And we talked about this Rainbow, like the pacing of mobile games probably matters more than the content of the actual game itself.
Yep. I don't know. Yeah, that was my thing. Like, and I obviously got some pushback because there is like a section of the mobile community that's like, mobile should have everything that PC has, and we can. It's not really about like. I'm not saying you shouldn't have it. I'm saying if you want your game to survive, you have to cater it to the audience you're trying to sell it to. And I just don't like the only game that has, number one, time, like the amount of time that you're in the game. Only one that we've seen thrive is PUBG Mobile. And PUBG Mobile is the biggest anomaly because its success was 100% predicated on the time that it launched, because there was no good mobile battle royale up until PUBG Mobile. Like, we had Rules of Survival. That was not a good mobile battle royale. It was a mobile battle royale, and that was about all you can say about it. But it had the biggest explosion because it was that first mobile game that actually was accessible worldwide and was battle royale, and it like, I don't think PUBG Mobile's really growing that much anymore. I think most of their user base are people that have played the game for a really long time. Like, they've been trying to grow in like North America and Europe for a long time, and there's just no growth to be found there because it's not like, if you don't have friends to play it with, it's not insanely fun to play. And so that's why so many of these newer games are like focused on being faster. And I'm not saying it's got to be like, oh, it needs to be a 5-minute game with no stakes and everything else, but I do think, especially for Arena Breakout to be, it's not just that it's a long game, but it's a really high stakes as well. Like, if you have bad connectivity, that can cause you to die. You lose however much time you've invested just because you have a bad connection. It's not like everybody that's playing the game is sitting home on an iPad connected to Ethernet. Like, it's a lot that's going against you for this to be a mobile game. And I just don't know if it's designed to really succeed for that audience.
Or like you're on the subway. I mean, these are just like, I feel like generic like examples, but like in a situation where I have 10 minutes to run a game,
yeah,
that's a risky 10 minutes because let's say you're 2 minutes away. I'm in class. I got to go to class. You're going to walk down the hall playing Arena Breakout, like get caught by the teachers and lose your phone. Or are you just going to lose all of the loot you have? Like, I mean, there were situations where like I had to go, I had to do something, and I wanted to just swipe out of the app. I just wanted to be done with it, but I couldn't. I had to stay in the game, spend the extra few minutes running, getting to the zone, going through the loading screens, getting my gear. I just think that like detail itself, like while it is cliche of like the mobile gamer on the subway or in the car, like on the class, like it's gonna happen, and there are gonna be times where people are gonna run into these issues and be upset that they had their experience ruined because like it's not an oversight, but it's a feature.
Yeah.
But maybe you should get like a pat. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to fix it.
I don't know what the fix is, but I think like I think all developers just have this mindset of like, if this game did well on PC, it's gonna do well on mobile, so we'll just copy and paste, and every mobile gamer is gonna love it. And I think that's part of what got Apex killed is that they didn't kind of they had a lot of issues, but they definitely did not do a good job of adapting things for the mobile audience as well. So
yeah,
it's
well, no, I think they swung too hard on the adaptability. They're
actually,
like, oh,
yeah,
you guys,
because they like, threw like every game mode in their TPP. Yeah, you're right.
They're like, dude, $100 lucky draws. Let's make them $300. Heirlooms. Normally you have to spend like $100 on console ever. Let's make them $500. Like, dude, they took mobile adaptation and said, dude, we're gonna reinvent the wheel, and they made a square wheel that didn't work. So,
do you want that to be the transition for Apex Mobile?
Sure. Yeah, the problem. Like, listen, I know you guys. I'm sick of talking about it. You're sick of hearing about it. Bobby's sick of me talking about it, but it's just such a good example. Like, we have so many new mobile games coming out. Some are small, some are bigger than others. And Apex is just, it's like, I don't know, whenever you're doing research on something and it's like, don't do this, and here's what to do. Like, Apex is the prime, do not do this. Like, everything they did, it's a case study of how not to launch a mobile game and burn. Like, I don't know, someone found the dev studio, because there was a studio in California working on this as well, I think, and they had like 50 employees. I don't know. I estimated the game probably spent upwards of like 50 million total, at least developing it, not even like marketing or anything. They only made $40 million. Like, they were in the hole so much money. And now with all these new games coming out, it's like, we just have to compare them to Apex of like, well, Project or Arena Breakout has this. Apex also had this. That's, that could be seen as not a good sign.
But Ducky, hashtag save Apex Mobile.
Hashtag, bro, give me impressions, man. Listen, I did it. I tweeted it knowing it wasn't going to do anything. Like, I was thinking in the back of my mind, it'd be the craziest, like, JK LOL moment if they just, like, re-enabled Syndicate Gold purchases and then you could just buy stuff again and then the game came back. But no, dude, like, their socials, they posted 3 times in the last month. Like, it's gone.
Yeah.
And
And we didn't think it was possible, but I think the game has actually gotten worse, right?
Yeah, well, okay, so I think there's a glitch. If you get above Diamond 2, you can't queue. Like, you literally cannot queue into a ranked game, or it takes like hours. Additionally, it's really funny. Apparently, ICE said that they fixed the Horizon B-hop issue after a few days. So there's, I guess, still devs on the game. But, I think the top 5 or 10 people on the leaderboard were all hackers. So, like, if people wanted to enjoy the last 3 months, they gave the Season 4 update, and then they were like, bah, hands off, don't care, your problem, LOL. So, Apex, man. I think people were experiencing what I was experiencing when Fortnite Mobile got banned of, like, this can't be happening. Like, there's no shot this AAA studio who had this, team that was spending millions on marketing and development, it's just gone. So I think that's where the hashtag Save Apex Mobile movement originated from. And similar to Fortnite Mobile, like, it's just out of our hands. We did everything we could while the game was here, but the game isn't. And there's like someone keeps adding me this petition to save the game. It's got like 200 signatures.
EA does not care about your petition.
Yeah, EA doesn't care about our few hundred signatures. They care about our few $100 million they're missing out on from the failure of their game. Ugh. What could have been? Apex Mobile.
Well, moving on. A game that we thought was getting shut down and then surprised us by not shutting down. Project Bloodstrike, which is I would say, like, people are like, oh, it's not a Warzone mobile clone.
It's Warzone.
It's a Warzone mobile clone. Like, it's made by NetEase. They specialize in making clones. It has tactical sprint, loadouts. It has UAVs that you can buy at buy stations. It has bounties. Like, literally so many mechanics copy and pasted from Warzone 1, because especially like the movement and everything else. But it's really fun. It is very, very fast paced, which right now is not really the case for Warzone Mobile. And also, it's available in a lot more regions. So in their re-release, even though it is still beta, it's out for like Test Flight and Android. I don't think you really need a VPN or like a changed account store even to download it, which is really nice.
Nope.
So the fact that it's like pretty widely available, they added in ranked. Like I said, it's pretty fast paced. I will say the ping is terrible because I'm on NA servers and I'm getting 120 ping. I don't know what that's all about. But all that to say,
maybe Mexico servers.
Maybe it says United States, which is why I'm confused. But anyways, it's a very fun game, and I'm curious to see what they can do with this. I don't think that they're gonna get sued. EA's kind of known for getting sued. It happens to the majority of the games that they make because they don't make their own games. It happened to, what was the Valorant clone?
Hyperfront.
Hyperfront got shut down. Obviously, completely copy and pasted from Valorant. Rules of Survival got sued. They had to pay PUBG a few $1 million. They also made.
That's not bad.
They made a MOBA, and it was a copy of League of Legends. That one got sued as well. I can't remember which one that was. Basically, they're used to getting sued. It happens on the regular, but maybe slightly differentiated enough from Warzone Mobile to where it doesn't get shut down. If it doesn't get shut down, it's another one of those games where, who knows, this could create its own little community. And I've never known NetEase to treat content creators well, but there's a first time for everything.
I mean, the thing about ROS, when that popped off, like, it just could be played on a potato. Like, there is going to be an audience of people who want to play Warzone or want to play a tactical BR FPS, but have lower end devices, and they're going to be fine not playing the name brand Call of Duty Warzone Mobile, because so far, like, they're getting better with optimization, but with like less than 3 months on the official release date, that's on the iOS store, like, that's a lot of ways to go to get to where those low-end devices can really compete, or at least hold their own with high-end devices. So I definitely think this is a game where NetEase, they know their place. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're copying the wheel as much as they can without trying to get their game shut down. So I think it's a smart move, especially everyone's hyped. You know, people, I still can't even play Warzone Mobile myself, like on my own with the VPN. I have to connect with someone who else has access, and it's a whole thing. So even myself, it's easier for me to play. It runs good on the devices I have, and it's out. That's the big thing. Now, as soon as Warzone Mobile comes out, the popularity is probably going to go down, but still, it could increase with more people finding out about it. Because it's earning the nickname like Warzone Mobile Lite from what I've understood. Mm-hmm. And so if Warzone Mobile doesn't come out with their own Lite version, then this could be like the unofficial Lite version of Warzone where you get the exact same gameplay experience, just different guns and graphics and logos. But it's still Warzone Mobile at its core. So I'm going to play it, make some content. I know a lot of people are still talking about it. But it sucks. I didn't know test flight betas could fill up. I didn't know that.
Oh, they can? Did you not get in?
Yeah. No, I'm on Android, but...
Ooh. Yikes.
Yeah. But I didn't know. Like, I was like, oh, I'll get it tomorrow. No problem. And then I didn't get it tomorrow. But I do want to... Did you see the new OnePlus tablet that was announced?
I did. I was very intrigued about that. I messaged my agent and told her... because I have a OnePlus video coming out soon. I said if they want to send me that, I'll make a Reacts channel video for free because I just want to try it out. But I haven't heard anything back from it. I don't know if it's even out yet, and that might be the reason they didn't say anything. But it looks interesting.
So pre-orders start in April, which I'm assuming means shipping like May or June of the year. But it's kind of trying to be a budget tablet. Like they're estimating it to be like $400 to $500. And they're using a processor called the Dimensity 9000. Like, it's kind of an off-brand. Like, it's not the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 that every new phone is coming out with. So, I think the performance is, like, comparable to an 8 Gen 1. But it has 120 or 140 hertz refresh screen. Like, good battery. Everything else is whatever. But I think it's kind of a bait. Like, they kind of went super budget route rather than trying to be like budget-ish. And so I am not holding my tongue for it. I like OnePlus products. I have the new OnePlus 11 Pro, but I don't have high hopes for it. I'm keeping my expectations low. But it was funny because someone messaged me, DM me today of like, hey, what Android tablet should I buy? And I was like, none. There's not a single Android tablet in the world that I can say this is worth your money as a creator. As a gamer, there's some Android tablets. But
I will say the touch response time of the new OnePlus is actually really, really good. So I don't know if that is necessarily going to be technology that's applied to the tablet as well, but that was one of the only downsides of the OnePlus in the past. So if they find a way to fix that, I think that's a very significant reason that nobody's ever used Android tablets in the past.
Yeah, or as content creators, there's always an issue with Android. Like with phones, not so much, but I've never been able to plug and play on an Android tablet ever. So I think that'd be huge if we finally get our very first Android tablet competitor to the iPad Pro. And if it's cheap, like iPad Pro is like $1,000. Like if this thing is $500 and it's comparable, like that would be massive for like the mobile gaming content scene, especially in other countries and people who want to get their hands on a cheap tablet. But time will tell, and it looks like it'll be a long time before we even get close to getting our hands on it. But Warzone Mobile, have you played it, the update recently? What's your? I haven't touched the game in like 2 months because, like I said, I can't. Like someone was like, "Why don't you make content?" I'm like, brother. Of course I'm unlucky I can't like play by myself. There's a dude who lives 30 minutes away from me and he can VPN into the servers by himself. So I'm like, why can't I?
Yeah, I don't know. I got into servers by myself for the first time, and it happened 2 games in a row, and then I tried again, and I couldn't get into games anymore. So I'm still not 100% sure if they added more servers, like different regions and stuff, and that's why I could get in. The thing I had to do when I got in before is I like joined somebody's party, but then he couldn't start, but then I left the party, and then it let me play. I don't really know if there's like a specific process that I need to go through in order to actually be able to play it. But as far as the game itself, from what I've heard from a lot of Android players, seems to be significantly improved as far as optimization goes, but like we mentioned earlier, there's still quite a ways to go if you want to be able to reach realistically like mid to low end. It's not even that you're trying to optimize for low end. It seems like most mid-end Android devices are not running it very well either, so it seems to be running pretty well on most iOS devices. That's the best gameplay that I've seen as far as like YouTube videos, is how well it runs. It seems to be on top iOS devices, but it is a completely different story on Android. Now, I will say in the new update, they added a few bugs. One that I heard Noah mention was after you pick up a loadout drop, it's basically a giant circle that keeps pinging in like smack dab in the middle of your screen on your crosshair, which is obviously not supposed to be there. And then also they added like new little tutorial things to kind of guide new players through, but those are glitched, so they now just show at the top of your screen for the entire game. So,
oh, sweet.
It's I would be.
Oh, they made crosshairs smaller, hit markers.
They did.
Finally.
That was a huge. Yeah, that was a.
But
a
okay,
big...
okay. They made it so you can change the size.
Mm-hmm.
Who's gonna keep it large? Like,
I don't
that's
know.
Mike. Like, there's no advantage at all unless you're like visually impaired. Maybe, but I've never seen a game, and it's good.
Yeah.
I just like I don't know why they didn't just like shrink it for everyone.
Yeah.
And not like have it like that's the first time I've ever seen a hit marker setting.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than
So.
having it stuck too big. So that's
Yeah. We'll take it where we can get it.
I don't know. I want Warzone Mobile to do the best that it possibly can, and I don't think that launching in May is that route for the game. Because
You don't think so?
do you?
I don't. I haven't played the game in 2 months. All I've seen is, I will say, is there an FOV slider still?
There's no FOV slider.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because at least on iPads, it makes it look like you're just running in molasses the whole game. I don't. Okay, so the problem is they should have never come out. Like, I'm going on a trip, an international trip, and I get back like 2 days before the game is supposed to come out. I did that on purpose because of the like global launch date. Like, if they didn't have an idea, or like if they didn't know they're launching May 15th, I think it's hard because if you push it back, like as someone, like the thing with my Minecraft server is anytime I've ever set a date, if you don't stick with the date, people don't like you. They hate you for however long it takes to you release that update. So it's a double-edged sword of, yeah, the game will be better, but everyone in their mind, they've given us way too much time to think May 15th. So if they're either going to lose a lot of hype. I mean, the game's going to have hype either way, but I think if they push it to like July or August, like that's bad. But if they push it like a month, 6 weeks,
I think a month would go a long way. And it may very well be that there's a big update coming that's going to fix a lot of things, but we haven't seen any updates so far that have like reached that standard of what people anticipate is needed for it to be a fully ready for launch game. So maybe they're like saving that for the global launch, and the global launch is just gonna blow us away and nobody's gonna believe what they're playing.
Yeah, but I don't want that to happen because that's what we thought it was gonna be with Apex Mobile, and they introduced like 8 million bugs that took them 2 months to fix. So I hope someone at the team saw Apex Mobile and they're like, bro, we cannot do that. Like, they need to have the game done for like a few weeks and then they go global. Not go global with the big like surprise, because I guarantee you, like you said, they're introducing little bugs and little things that like shouldn't be in at launch. So I'm incredibly excited, but the hype, it's the expectation. Like, you give people an expectation of a launch date, they're gonna expect that. Like, you shouldn't have put that out there if they weren't gonna stick to it, or at least like a week or two away. So, but I agree. Right now, it'll be pushing it if they try to launch May 15th. Don't know.
They did also add in like full loadout capability, and you can now make your own loadouts and everything. So that's obviously a huge addition because you could not do that before, and that's like obviously a major aspect of Warzone. So there are like little things they're adding in. They added in hardpoint for the multiplayer. That was 100% necessary because hardpoint's the best game mode in multiplayer Call of Duty. So I think like there are definite good changes that were made in the recent update, but the biggest thing people are asking for is optimization. I think improving graphics as well would be nice because obviously it's not all about the graphics, but if it looks like a mobile game, then more than likely it's still going to have a big amount of that stigma of it's just a mobile game.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I'm so nervous about every new game coming out, man. Apex Mobile just got me my PTSD riled up in Fortnite. I'm so scared, man. But for every bad launch, there's got to be a good launch, right? Like 50-50.
Yep.
Speaking of launches that won't happen for a long time, Rainbow Six. It's so weird because they were hyperactive on the timeline. Like,
I think they went overboard too early. On the yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I agree, but also like, I mean, dude, they were posting. Maybe it's because the beta was going on, but they were just posting good content, time and time, like every single day, like posting about the developers, posting about this and that was going on, and like people were caring. And then, like you said, they just didn't tweet for 50 something days, and then they've tweeted once. And they haven't tweeted in 2 weeks. They're like, hey, we're still here, by the way, LOL. So I don't know what, like, personally, I don't like Rainbow Six. It's very slow, and it was even slower paced on mobile. But still, like, that had so many people hyped up. Like, I think I saw in someone's bio, like, Rainbow Six Mobile Pro. Like, kids already getting, like, that hyped for it. But they just went ghost on us.
Yeah. And it's really weird because I'm actually looking back now, and they've like replied to a bunch of stuff, but most of it is people asking if there's news, if there's tests, and it's all them saying we don't have anything for you. Which I would almost say is more concerning than it is reassuring.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to look back. I can't remember what date it was that they actually like officially came back to Twitter and everything, but they made it seem like they had big information coming, and then they posted, and they've replied. Oh my God. I'm like, I've been scrolling for so long, and I still can't find, because they have so many like replied to tweets.
They have 7,000 tweets,
yeah,
dude.
They like, it looks
Wait,
like
they replied 2 hours ago.
Yeah, they're replying to people all the time.
Guys, if you want to reply, go right now. Go tweet at them. They'll give you a shout out. I promise.
Bro,
Thanks, Bobby.
I've been loading tweets. I still can't find. I think it ran like I've loaded the amount of tweets that can be loaded. When they officially tweeted was February 6th. I have loaded all the tweets that can be loaded, like going through their replies, and I can't find anything before February 6th, which means social media manager is just working full time. But I don't know. Oh,
but there's not a shred of useful information because we don't have an update. We're working on it, so we're not canceled. All information on the closed beta was wiped, so we're not doing like it's not. I like it that they're like, it's better that they're doing that than doing nothing.
Yeah.
But dude, like these mobile games, man, they like the thing about like Hogwarts. I'm surprised Hogwarts Legacy had as much hype as it, because that game, the release date had been pushed back like a year. Like, it continually been pushed back month after month. And so finally they're like, this is it. It's releasing. And the same thing happens to mobile games where you have the beta in 2022 and the game goes global in late 2023, early 2024. Like, keeping hype for 2 years is a really difficult task. So, like, while it does give them a lot of extra info and insight, like, by 2024, are people going to care about Rainbow Six? Like, I don't know. There's going to be a bajillion other games. Speaking of which, is Valorant Mobile, what's happening? Do you know what's going on with that?
All they've said is that things are not going as quickly as they expected it to, but they're still continuing development and excited for launch. So we don't know anything definitive. But man, mobile developers just don't really seem to know what to expect anymore. And I think part of it is they're not mobile developers, and that's the reason they don't know what to expect. But there's just so many games that they're hitting snags or whatever it is, difficulties in development. I think Valorant Mobile is another one that we've talked about before. We don't know a ton about, but I think they're still running tests and everything else. So we know the game is at least partially made because we have seen leaked gameplay from the tests and everything else. But it's another one of those that's kind of up in the air. Originally, they had said it's going to be launched in 2023. Now that's not looking quite as certain just because they said things are going a little bit slower.
Yeah, I think people just magically threw out 2023 and they're like, well, it's happening.
No, there was like an official source that confirmed it.
Oh.
Valorant
Yeah, okay.
Mobile.
I will say there's a few Valorant Mobile Twitters out there that like one of the dudes is just always right. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like, how are you a leaker for like such a small game, or like small and there's no testing, there's no like information to be had anywhere. I don't know. I just think the problem is all we have right now is we're looking forward to games.
Yeah.
We don't have anything to currently hype up and gas up. And
we got dude, we got Project Bloodstrike, Farlight, Arena Breakout.
Dude, you know what I mean? Like, those are good games, but they're niche. Project Bloodstrike is a ripoff Warzone. Arena Breakout is a Tarkov mobile. Farlight isn't even out globally. So like, I get like we have games coming out, but I'm talking about like a Fortnite, a PUBG, a COD mobile, an Apex, like a big game that is gonna grab the like, because Farlight's not gonna grab the attention of Tim the Tap Man like Call of Duty Mobile does. You know, these big. That's how mobile gaming really excels, is if like the community can push like a game that's worth pushing, and then it grabs the attention of like other people. Where it starts to get noticed. Like, that's what I want. Like, I miss it. Like, for Fortnite Mobile, like, people popping off and Ninja reacting and Ninja calling mobile players hackers because they were that good. Like, that period of time, it just feels like I'm shocked it just has stopped over the last few years. And Call of Duty Mobile recently has been bringing some more attention into the fold of mobile gaming, but it just seems like the only people who care about mobile gaming is mobile gamers.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Which isn't, it's not bad, but it's not good.
Like, in order for mobile gaming to been that way for the majority in the past, because like I think Fortnite Mobile and COD Mobile, I think, are the only games that have really bridged that gap at all. Like, PUBG Mobile never really made it into mainstream gaming. Free Fire definitely never made it into mainstream, at least not in, I think, what we would consider mainstream. Maybe in like countries like Brazil and everything else, but in English mainstream gaming, I guess you could say. Supercell games never happened. Yeah, I don't know. I think that everybody's looking for that big opportunity. I think that's part of the reason why I don't want Warzone Mobile to launch when it's supposed to, because this is the ultimate opportunity. Like, PC and console had this map that they loved, that they can't get back, but now they can get it back because it's on mobile, and that's the reason I'm like, make it the best that it can possibly be, because this is good chance the best opportunity mobile's going to get for maybe the next 5 years. One exception maybe being Valorant. Outside that, I don't know where else it would be.
Yeah, this is without a doubt, unless there's a revolutionary title that's hiding behind the scenes, I agree that in the next, because there's no more big games. Like, we've copied them all.
CSGO is not going to do it. They don't have any desire to go into mobile. Critical Ops.
Like, FIFA Mobile's already on mobile. There's sports games, but they don't do anything. Yeah. They're just cash grabs. Let me look on Twitch. Apex obviously rose and fell. Like, just
we've got League of Legends
right
mobile.
Now,
we got all the MOBAs covered. Like, shooters are all we really have left.
Yeah, like right now, that's it. Valorant, Warzone.
We've got Roblox. We've got Minecraft.
Yeah, but I will say Minecraft. Okay, let's hear me out here. If Minecraft did some sort of, it's scuffed, but like their mobile game sucks. It is you have to pay for it too. You have to pay for it, and it sucks. Like, the controls, you can't customize the HUD, you can't move the controls. I think Minecraft, like, not necessarily Minecraft mobile would grow in popularity, but that is one big game that's still out that I think could see a ton of improvements if they just cared. But they don't, because that's not their moneymaker. Well, no, it is their moneymaker. They sold like 100 million copies of mobile. I don't know. Doesn't really relate to the mobile scheme because it's its own little weird niche thing. chess.com. Trying to I'm just scrolling through Twitch. I mean, Stumble Guys is actually still really big, but not where it matters.
Yeah.
And it's not cross-platform, and it kind of sucks. It's cash grab, but it's so big. It's so weird. I don't know. Mobile gaming just we're so close. We're so far away. It's like it's frustrating.
It is, but there is light on the horizon. Hopefully the light does not go back below the horizon. We'll see.
Hopefully that doesn't get shut down. Oh no! Hopefully it doesn't sunset.
The sun. Why did I think of that? Dang it! That was literally like sitting there under my nose, and I just.
Why didn't the light go back below the horizon? It's called
I
a sunset,
hate
buddy.
my life.
Well, anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to the 2 Thumbs Up podcast. Another fun episode. This might be, depending on when we record, might be the last episode in this apartment, this room. I am moving March 14th. So if there's enough news before then, we'll record an episode. If not, you'll get the brand new room tour.
Woohoo!
Come next episode in 3 weeks. But yeah, Clips channel, all that stuff, our links down below in the description. Bobby, you got any parting words?
Go try Farlight 84. It's fun.
Yeah, only on Android, or if on iOS if you're in India.
Listen, just make 2 accounts and then use your second account as the
Dude, my passwords are so long. They're so secure. They're so long, bro. I'm not typing that in every time.
Such a bizarre flex, but okay.
See
See you guys later.
We'll catch you guys.
Catch you in the next episode.